a kind of a list of some command trainings that's coming up. You guys see this?
No.
So if you don't have a copy, let me know, and I've got a few copies here, and if I need to go make some more copies, I can. You guys around the back row need some copies. You got about probably maybe need 2 more copies back here. Do you guys know how to find your live stream? You guys know how to find your live stream trainings on KW Connect? If you don't, let me show you because it's really easy. And so we're going to facilitate some of the live streams. We're going to do some in-house ones. And then as you see something that says live stream, it's really easy for you to not only go look at it from home, but also to go into it later if you want to pull it up. If you're starting to feel overwhelmed about command, I'm going to talk to you a couple things about it today, okay? I'll also give you an article about Keller, kind of the iBuyer program. You guys have this article in front of you? The top of the page, it has like a KW, also known as Instant Offer Service. You guys see this article? If you don't have it, raise your hand. Still a few of you that doesn't have it.
This thing.
Do I need to make sure to save? Oh,
She's making something.
Something like
that.
All right, let's turn down our phones and get started. Welcome. So Rhonda, you have a, is this just a kind of a placeholder for affirmation?
It's just an affirmation.
It is an affirmation. I gotcha. Each day of my life is filled with joy and love. Somebody say that back at me.
Each day my life is filled with joy and love.
Do that again.
Each day my life is filled with joy and love.
That's pretty cool. What would happen if you repeat that to yourself quite a bit instead of the I'm stupid, I don't know anything, and all the other stuff that I say to myself, right? Love that. Thank you. Anybody else using affirmations? Are you guys doing that? Would you guys be willing to share what yours are? I'm not saying right now if you don't want to. Anybody want to share one?
Everything is always working out.
Everything is always working out for me. That's awesome. Heck yeah, we do. All right, awesome. Well, let's do a gratitude also.
I'd like to talk for a few minutes about gratitude.
Oops, sorry.
Sorry about
Sure.
that. What's all that about?
There's now a lot of research that suggests that gratitude is good for us. No surprise there. And as an emotion, it is very easy to invoke. Unless you are living the worst possible life, it should be easy to find something for which you're grateful. And it can be very skillful and wise to do this. And one reflection I find myself doing when I'm in some ordinary, contracted state of mind. Let's say I'm stressed out by something not going well. I'm reacting to some hassle. I could be caught in traffic and late for an appointment. I sometimes think of bad things that haven't happened yet. I might think that I haven't been diagnosed with a fatal illness. I'm not caught in a war zone. And I think of all the people on earth in that moment who are suffering those sorts of dislocations in their lives. And then I reflect that if I were in their shoes, I would be desperate to get back to precisely the situation I'm now in. Just stuck in traffic and late for an appointment, but without any real care in the world. I noticed this at dinner the other night with my family. Everyone seemed to be in a fairly mediocre frame of mind. We were all in some way disgruntled or stressed out. I had a million things I was thinking about. And I suddenly noticed how little joy we were all taking in one another's company. And then I thought, if I had died yesterday and could have the opportunity to be back with my family, I thought of how much I would savor this moment right now. And it totally transformed my mood. It gave me instantaneous access to my best self and to a feeling of pure gratitude for the people in my life. Just think of what it would be like to lose everything and then be restored to the moment you're now in, however ordinary. You can reboot your mind in this way, and it need not take any time. The truth is, you know exactly what it's like to feel overwhelming gratitude for your life. You are in an unusual situation. There are at least 1 billion people on Earth at this moment who would consider their prayers answered if they could trade places with you. There are at least 1 billion people who are suffering debilitating pain or political oppression or the acute stages of bereavement. To have your health, even just sort of, to have friends, even only a few, to have hobbies or interests and the freedom to pursue them, to have spent this day free from some terrifying encounter with chaos is to be lucky. Just look around you and take a moment to feel how lucky you are. You get another day to live on this earth. Enjoy it.
See how simple things seemed back then? Well, they're simple now too, in a way. Don't make it complicated. Anybody have something they're grateful for in the room?
Breath I have.
Breath? We didn't get an article that I mentioned. Sometimes whenever we're struggling, it's hard to remember what we're grateful for, guys. Just holler if you still need this. I'm trying to hand it out to you now so that whenever I get to it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. Let's go to prayer requests. Give you my update. So Catherine Mayer's mother, she had been in the hospital. She's back out. She seems on the mend and doing well. So let's just kind of keep praying for her to keep having that progress. I've got Robert McGowan. Let's just keep praying for his family. He had broken his leg. His wife has some health issues. So lift that family up in your prayers, please. Benny Green has had eye surgery.
I talked to Benny this morning. His eye got infected, so he kind of had a setback, but the doctor has him on some antibiotics, and he said that, he thanked everybody for the prayers, and he asked that you please continue, because it's an ongoing process.
Eye infection doesn't sound very fun, does it? So, bless his heart, keep him uplifted. Carolyn Baker's husband is doing well. She is just saying thank you for his prayers. He is just progressing nicely. So it's nice to see some of the prayers work, right? And to keep those families going. Jennifer Wheeler has been doing well. She's gone this week on vacation to her happy place. So she goes each year to Destin, and she's come back hopefully recharged. And we got to keep praying for her heart because she doesn't ever mention it, but that's going to be something ongoing with her. And she's improving. Shelley Faust was going to be here today and was going to speak here about Mega Camp because she was there with us, and she texted this morning that she's not feeling well. So let's keep her in your prayers. Her aunt is going through cancer, and so I just want to, she's going through chemo, and they're dealing with that weekly right now. So Shelley's aunt and Shelley, I guess, to feel better. You guys know Trisha's mother in Huntsville. Terminal cancer, not much they can do. That's a young family struggling. So I want to keep her always in our thoughts. She's such a delightful family. She has pancreatic cancer, her mother does. Who has an update on Marsha Anderson?
She came in Friday.
Okay.
The reason her husband was in the hospital and bleeding was they nicked his kidney when they were doing a biopsy. So they gave him a couple of units of blood, and he's doing better, and he's home.
Yep.
So that was very, very scary with that transfusion that he had recently, you guys. And Marsha's just recovered from cancer. So it's almost like, can they catch a break? And I think it sounds like a little bit they did. Let's
keep praying for
Well,
her.
they agreed that they can't both be sick at the same
Right,
time.
okay.
They're gonna have to take turns.
Oh my gosh, they've gone through a lot, and she keeps on the real estate in between. Right? So if you think you can struggle today with your business, my goodness. Karen Gordy, I just want to lift her up. Her father, she said, is not doing well. She probably doesn't have a lot of time left with him. She's here in the room. Pray for Karen and her family right now, and her dad. Matt Mulk, I heard he hurt his back. Was that all we know, Earl? Is that?
Yeah, he went yesterday to the doctor to make sure there wasn't more than that, but he actually thought that he'd done something bad to his kidney because of where the pain was, but it's just muscles in his back. So,
Anyone else have anything? Weaver?
Hal's mother passed away last Thursday. We just need to lift that in prayer. We had a tough summer.
So you guys understand what he's saying, how Griffin's mom passed away? Well, all during those last stages of Hal's life, his mom was on again, off again, really sick. And she's just passed away, and so they've just lost a mom and a brother in that family, as well as the rest of the family. So keep them up in your prayers. Yes, Jenna?
How's the Smith's daughter? Any update on that? Her?
The last update we had was that she's home. She's not like 100% better or anything, but she's recovering. So thanks for asking for them. Anyone else? Rhonda, you want to do the honors today?
Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for gathering us here today. Our team, Father, please watch over all these people, Lord, that we lifted up to you in prayer. Father, please comfort their families where comfort is needed. Bring healing where healing is needed. Father, strengthen our bonds with our families and our friends. Father, we just thank you for every opportunity to go out into the world and shine our light through you, Father. And we just ask that you please watch over all these people that we've lifted up in prayer, and watch over all of our team members, Father, and keep us safe and bring us back together again the beginning of September. In your name I pray, amen.
Let's, I see Texas Homeland back there. Donna Rodriguez, you want to talk to us for a minute?
Sure. Morning, Keller Williams. I'm grateful for all of you and thankful for all of the business that you give us. So I gave you guys a handout just now. The rates for the policy premiums are changing and they're going down. Okay, so September 1st, the new rates come out. We'll have those, you know, those cute little rate cards I give you. We'll have those to hand out to you when the rates go down. But so September 1st, officially the rates go down. But the biggest part, in addition to the rates going down, is that I don't know if you guys know this, and I talked about it in the title class last week. But when if you refinance your home, in the past, under the current law, if you refinanced at any time during the first 7 years, you got a little reduction of the premium. So the first year you would get 40%, and then it would go down. The second year you get less and less and less and less until at the end of the 7th year, up to the 8th year, you would get no reduction of premium. Okay. Well, with the new changes in the policy rates, you get a 50% reduction in your premium for the first 5 years, and after 5 years, there's no more. So what that means is the premium is reduced, and it doesn't matter what title company you know your client or you may have closed at. Every title company across the board has to give that policy discount. Okay, so that's a big thing, and you can look smart and tell your clients that you know all this. Okay, so anyway, just these are the new rates that are coming out. So if you've got houses that are closing after September, this is going to be the new premiums. Okay, so anyway, have a great week.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, let's welcome our breakfast sponsor, D.R. Horton. We love our builders and we love our breakfast sponsors, so come talk to us and I'll let you have it.
I have to tell you, I really love how you guys start your meetings, because they're very uplifting and honor God, and I just really appreciate that, because that doesn't happen a lot of places that I go. And so I'm very glad to be up here. I'm glad talking to you. My name is Diana Pittman. I work at D.R. Horton. I work in the Freedom section of Foster's Ridge, although now I can sell in the whole section. Foster's Ridge is off of 1488 on Conroe Road. And our new year starts October the 1st, so we've got a lot of spec homes that we're really negotiating, willing to negotiate prices. We're at the end of the year, so this is a really good time to bring your buyers if you have anybody. We have a couple things. I want to just hand this out to you. We are trying to really just talk about thanking people and thanking the Lord, thanking everybody, but we're just, like, if somebody comes in and buys a house and they're a firefighter, they're a military person or whatever, and they're getting $4,000 worth of closing costs, if they just bring this sheet with them, we'll give them another $1,000 to show our small appreciation. You know, that's not very much, but you know, it's every little bit helps. And we've been going around to the military, to the different places, to the hospitals, and taking, you know, cookies and cupcakes and stuff like that and talking to them, because we really want to show our appreciation to the community and to what they do for us all the time. And and this one is just like a little fun thing that we're doing. It's called Sprinkles. And if you just come in and look at my model or look at one of our models, or just come in and drop your card in, we're putting your name in for a soft serve ice cream maker. And we just thought, well, we would do something fun. We always have all these big things going on. We thought, well, we just do something fun that you don't really have to do anything, just come and look at what we have and then drop your card in. So I'm going to just pass these around. In Foster's Ridge, we have the Freedom section. Just for a minute, the Freedom section is the 55 and over. And so, talking about speaking things, speaking your day, one of the things I've done for a while now is speaking my day into qualified buyers. I just speak qualified buyers into my community. And I pray over every one of them so that when they come in, and whether they buy or not is irrelevant, we just have a good time and show houses. So in Foster's Ridge, we start at $200,000 and we go all the way up to $700,000. So I can sell in the whole community. We have 5 sales counselors there, so just come and see us and see what we have. So I wanted to do a really quick, I have one gift card. There's a lot of you that brought you gift cards, but I have one gift card today. So if you want to put your card in here real quick, I know you've got a lot to do. Thank you, Anna, for letting me bring breakfast and talk for a few minutes.
Thank you
If
for bringing
anybody has
breakfast.
any questions, I'm going to leave some of my cards here also. You can give me a call.
Pass the plate.
Pass the plate.
A big bowl. It's a bigger bowl.
That's all we could find, short end.
It's a bigger bowl.
You ready?
This is a $30 gift card for Chick-fil-A. I think I have some kind of an investment there because I eat here twice a day, I think. But, so anyway, that's what this is.
Awesome, breakfast, gift cards, incentives. Are you gonna turn your cards to her info?
Oh, that's so much better, thank you.
What a chance.
Last call.
They trust me not to cheat? My own card's not in here. Claire Moore.
Thank you all, appreciate you guys.
She's buying us
Few
some
minutes here.
Chick-fil-A.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Guys, reach out to her, go look at her product. All right, somebody tell me what updates have been made to the seller's disclosure.
Good.
I've asked our friend Matt West to come tell us a little bit about it.
Well, basically it's about flood. Really, the majority of it has to deal with, you know, the Houston area, Galveston, those that are affected by reservoirs and levees, which we really don't have in this area. You know, it's basically on pages 3 and 4. A question that I had last week was regarding Lake Conroe and was it located in a reservoir? Lake Conroe is not a reservoir. No. Reservoirs are controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers. Army Corps of Engineers designed Lake Conroe and built it, but they do not run it. It's run by the Kingston River Authority. And it's not a reservoir, it is a backup water supply for the city of Houston. So.
Is the Entergy Lake a reservoir?
It is, but that's privately owned.
Right, I mean, it's, but
So,
it has nothing
but
to
again,
do.
it's not controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers, so the answer on that's going to be no.
Where is the Entergy Lake? On the other side of 1097. On the
Yeah,
north side.
Long Street.
Yeah. And that's that either did flood or has.
Well, there was a risk of
Yeah.
it breaching, I guess, Tustin levees a couple of years ago, I think. During our, there were a bunch of people that, got compensated for 2 days of evacuation. I know my mom lived in that area and she got $700 for 2 days.
More than I got from Harvey.
That came directly from Entergy. So, another question that's been put on there is that, have there been any claims made from, for flood from FEMA or, I think the Small Business Administration? Is that on there? Yeah. Which, those things may not show up on a clue report if they didn't have flood insurance. So that's just things to keep in mind on that. This seller's disclosure is going to be required for any contracts that are executed after September the 1st.
So when is it?
Yeah. It doesn't matter if the property was listed prior to that if it was listed prior, then the existing seller's disclosure is void, and they will have to fill out a new one.
So let me know on vacant land and lots.
Well, vacant land and lot seller's disclosures aren't necessarily required. They're recommended, but they're not required.
Because I turned in one not too long ago, and I got a note back saying that it needed a seller's disclosure. Not let me next name.
For compliance issues, there's Keller Williams, we need a seller's disclosure.
I'm sorry?
For compliance issues, here at Keller Williams, we need a seller's.
Well, and I think it's always disclose, right? So if we're requiring compliance, it's probably because we had an issue come up in the past, and it's more of a cover your butt than probably to be difficult. So whether or not it's required by anybody but us, I would just say, why not get one? And certainly it's a good question to ask what happened to it during any time water's been high. Because if it has flooded and somebody wants to know and then find out later that it did, we had one come up recently where they didn't get surveys and the seller's disclosure and there was an easement, and so sometimes just the seller's disclosure is getting information from people. So when you think about the old one and the new one, it's basically the language is almost all exactly the same except for just informing what do your clients want to know. Did it flood? Did it get damaged? Did you take money for it? Did you spend the money on it?
There's also, they added a question on there, previously on the other seller's disclosures, it talked about water penetration into the actual structure, into the actual home. Well, now they've added, maybe it didn't get into the home, but it got into the garage, the detached garage. So they've added in there, was there any water penetration into the structure on the property?
That's smart.
Yes.
I mean, it's all pretty self-explanatory, and actually they even explain below, on page 3 in this section, what the terms mean.
Do you have any questions? Okay.
Good job, man.
Awesome. Okay, so you guys know that you have an in-house closing coordinator. She's not an employee, she's someone that you guys hire. If you're brand new, she'll go over your first 3 transactions with you. And then she's always available there for you. She'll be talking to us as we get into compliance and command. She teaches classes for us for free, so please be aware of Tiffany. And from what I've heard, she'll do some things besides just transaction coordinating. Maybe sometimes she'll have listing coordination or something.
She's awesome.
She's awesome, and she's right there in the hallway just for you guys. Okay, so ALC, Brian went to mega camp, Shelley went to mega camp. Shelley, I know, went to a culture committee, not a culture committee, but a cultural training, what would you call it? A breakout's what they call it, but a presentation all on Keller Williams culture. So I'm really looking forward to what she has to say. And like I said, she wasn't feeling well. She will, I'll have her talk at the next team meeting. And Brian, I know, will talk about mega camp here in a moment. Stephanie, you want to talk to us a bit about what the culture committee's doing right now?
One thing we need to do is, we decided to, well, not start a collection, but promote the collection for KW shares.
She's talking about KW shares. What is KW shares?
Okay, so first we need to talk about KW Cares, which is, on a national level, all the Keller Williams put money into a fund basically, so if one of our agents is in crisis and needs, what do we call it, donation, grant,
Well, so
Assistance.
yes, assistance.
there's money available for that, but in order for one of our agents to get assistance as an office, we need to put up 10% of the money. So we have KW shares, which is very low in funds right now. And I feel like our goal is to maintain at least $1,000. So if one of our agents needed $10,000 in assistance, we would need to be able to put up $1,000. And right now, our funds are low. So we're asking everyone when they have a closing to donate, $10 or something towards it. We have a poster we're going to put out in the hall that shows our goal of $1,000 and where we're at. And we have a box. Is this our box? If you want to, put donations in here, did we decide? I thought we could just maybe start passing it around on team meetings. And, even if it's $1 or $2, before you know it, we'll have $1,000, so.
And here's the thing I'll say, guys, is I've been an agent, as you know, 15 years, 17 years, some kind of god-awful amount of time here. And that line item on the green sheet for KW Cares, I really didn't pay that much attention. I was a struggling real estate agent, and I needed every dime. And, I got my own needs, somebody donate to me, right? And then I was here for Hurricane Ike. And I saw actually checks getting written to our KW family in this office that was not even a major event really to us. There was the one that stuck in my mind was there was a tree that had landed on an agent's car. And the agent either didn't have insurance for that or whatever. Maybe there was a deductible. And I saw the team leader or the leadership of Keller Williams, and it just stuck in my mind like, oh, that's real money, that's real people. Then when we have something like Hurricane Harvey, to see that overnight people get $1,000 sent to all of them, all the ones that were displaced, had a KW person at their house, money and donations and everything from all over the country and even all over the world. Then we have other storms that we could mention. So the KW Cares force, let's say someone in your family or you needed something. That is a big organization of money, and we, as a population of agents, put in money on our on that green sheet line that I just used to do after I kind of got aware of it, that I would put a percentage of my each commission on there, and I knew that that was going to the real money for real KW agents and families. So then what the culture committee and Stephanie's talking about is internally in our office, when we have somebody who maybe we need to send things for a funeral, and for somebody who needs something on a smaller scale, do we have the funds? It doesn't even have to be to match what KW Cares is doing. It's just that what kind of fund do we have to help our own? And we don't need to maybe necessarily bring in the big entity at all times. But what'll happen is we'll deplete our money because we use it, and then we'll build it back up as a community. So whenever we've had a couple of agents with health issues, we had created something on your green sheet line, and I'm not sure how this will look inside a command, but you were able to actually donate to someone specific. I've seen agents in the past give money to an agent in need, like I know they're struggling with their agent bill. Could I anonymously donate? So there's just those things that you can do. And I'm not a big pass the collection plate person. That's just not my personality style. I think you have to give, not because of peer pressure, but because you really want to. No, I think that's awesome. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying don't feel like, oh my gosh, people are gonna judge me if I don't go give. That you've got the opportunity to give just right here. We could do some auctions for some things. And I think just a goal of $1,000 as an office is a great goal. Mary, what you trying to say back there?
Well, if you want it donated to someone in particular, like you have to put in the notes section, there's KW Shares is down where the N on the trans feed that, it's a line that says KW Shares, that's for our local market center. But if you want it for someone in particular, go back to the notes section of the green sheet and say, my KW Shares, I would like to go to whoever the agent is or whoever the person is.
If you knew that somebody needed that, okay?
Why don't we auction off the employee parking space again?
Well, I haven't been auctioning off.
That's great.
I haven't been auctioning off, so what Matt is saying is we used to auction off that parking spot, and then at team meeting, we would sometimes donate some money for this exact cause, and then whoever, I guess, won the auction would get that space for the week. So do you guys want to go back to doing that? Does that... I always felt like myself as an agent, man, like only the agents that are in high production are gonna get it, or you know, that's the reason I personally as a team leader didn't do it, but I do think we could try it a couple times and see how it goes. I just started giving rewards to you guys to the spot, you know, so that newer agents could get there as well. Anything you guys think of that would be donation worthy and fun, and let's get energy around it and not feel icky about it. Let's just give it back. Okay, so let me do some welcome new agents. Morgan Holly, welcome. Sandra Egeland, I still don't have Sandra's name correct, probably. Joel Hennenberg is in the house. Welcome, Joel. Aaron Cole on the Donna Story team. Hello, Holly Christian, welcome. Chris McCoy's in the room. Okay, Agent of the Week, Amanda Hofstra. Thank you for supporting our agents with open house, shouting opportunities, help them begin growing their businesses. While we hold on that, okay, go here. Agent of the Week, Thank you, Weaver. Always making us laugh. And what else do we do? About it. Yes. I was just gonna say while I was thinking about it before I forgot. Anybody know how to go to the Open House Network from your Kelly app? You guys know what that is and how to do that? I'm ahead of my slideshow here. Keith, you know how to do it? You guys open up your Kelly for a sec. I think I know how to do it. Let's try it. There's so much new on your Kelly app that I want to show you, so let me just show you while I'm thinking of it. You guys know how to open up your Kelly app. It's probably had some updates, so you do have to use your username and password. So grab your light blue Kelly app. So if you have joined the Open House Network, this is going to work. If you have not joined, you're going to need to join. It's inside of you guys' command. You're going to start seeing all kinds of communication inside of command now. So you guys have your home page up. You see on the bottom where it says command. You see next to that where it says connect. Tell me when you guys are up there. Raise your hand when you click that little connect button. Second one over. Hold your phone up. That's okay. This is just a good exercise for you, right? And so you guys see where it says connect feed. Well, you can't see my phone, I'm holding it up anyway. So hold your phone up when you can see the word connect feed. Still quite a bit of you still looking? So go back to home, your regular app in front of you. The next one on the very bottom says command. There's home and then there's command and then there's connect. You guys see that? KDB Connect is where all of your education is. And it's also how you will literally connect with each other. So if you click on connect, your second one down is connect feed. Raise your hand if you're with me. Okay, about half of you. So on your connect feed, if you click on that, and if you're a member of the Open House Network, and I think that you all should be a member of that, you're gonna see the Open House Network. She's got a copy of it here. It's gonna be in your dashboard of Connect as well, or a command.
There's only 27 members.
It's not on mine.
Okay, so there's 27 members of the KW Advantage Open House Network. That tells me that you guys haven't joined the membership, right?
Would
So,
that be like this right here? That mine says 168.
so it's KW Advantage Realty is 168. That's your closed command group. And then your KW Advantage Open House Network. If you'll join it, then if I click on mine, the first one I saw was from Catherine Mayer that says, always looking for agents to do open houses, please contact my office at this phone number. So then you as an agent says, hey Anna, I want to do an open house this weekend. You guys, we have how many listings that you could be going to hold open? The reason that Amanda was on there, she's always having open houses and connecting with you guys. So if you want to have someone hold an open house for you, you're on there. Let's say I'm an agent that says I want to have open houses, then I can put a post in there. That's where you guys come together on what you're doing with your open houses. So if you have questions, just send us a note and we'll point you to it.
And if you wanted to sign up, how would you?
You're gonna first join it, and then you can just put your name in the hat that you would like to be. My advice to you guys, if you haven't, if you don't know this already on open houses, is tie your open houses to your farming efforts. So if I did a simple lead generation plan with you, I went over a lead generation this morning in Fun Group. You're gonna tie possibly social media together with your farming, meaning your geographic area, and your open houses in that area. So say for me, an example, when I was an agent, I like to do waterfront. I did waterfront all the time. I like to know every waterfront on that lake. And so I would target open houses that are on the water. Somebody like Catherine Mayer, typically I call her and say, hey, you got any open houses? I wanted new ones or I wanted nice ones. And then I knew my neighborhoods and my open house, my waterfronts. That was just me. I might do new construction. I might do the neighborhood I live in. There's a lot of people who, like for example, live in Walden. They'll have open houses in Walden all the time. Somebody walks in and they don't like your house, well, you know of the other houses. You know how much that one down the street sold for. So to come in here and say, I want to hold an open house randomly anywhere, I just say, like everything, get purposeful and specific. Okay, cheers from here. Cappers, Brenda Lynch. I'm sorry, I'm pressing. Okay, Rookie of the Month, Grayling DeBlock, 134,000. I want to tell you, Grayling has been one of those ones that's come into classes, doing his activities, getting into production. And if you ever sit in this chair and think, I don't know I'm going to make it in this business, coming in and doing the activities, it's proven does work. And he had been in another brokerage for almost 2 years without a sale. And here he is with us a few months and already getting into production using our models and systems. So congratulate to him, wonderful guy. So proud of him. All right, Triple Crown. What is Triple Crown? Somebody tell me.
You get 3 closings in 1 month.
3 closings in 1 month, right? So you have to have 3 units closed. So our units, closed Triple Crown winners, this is July, this is July's numbers, okay? So the Sellers Realty Group did 27 closed units. The Frankie team did 9.25 closed units. Home Branch team did 8 closed units. Story team did 5 closed units. This is in 1 month. You guys can get on here, well, this is the groups, because I'm getting ready to go to individual as well. But if you are on here, any given month you sell 3, then every quarter we do a lunch for you guys. Now I've been kind of like bored by the lunches, and since I'm in charge of you guys, I'm going to just tell you I want to change up the Triple Crown lunch, and I still want to celebrate your successes, and I also want to bring a little more value to those besides just come in and eat lunch and leave. So keep your eye on the Triple Crown events, and they're once a quarter. So we're in August right now. When will the next one be? July, October, right? Each month for 3 months, you'll go into the pool for the Triple Crown lunch. The review person or me? Team, yes. So the teams: Lady Lake 8 units, Barbara Sims team 6.75 units, Go Cane team 6 units, Hofstra Home Group 6 units. Those are the teams. You get questions between groups and teams, you know, don't dwell on it. It's depends on how many people are in their groups and teams. Individual Triple Crown, look at these: Teresa Shive 12 closings, Lori Parker 8 closings, Marion Tyler 4, Casey Johnson 4, Allison Hill 3, Weaver Wiggins 3, Stephanie Miller 3, Frank Oliveras 3. Your name here next. Shoot for 3 closings a month and you got to be pretty happy agents. I'm just gonna do some awards for you. The group listing volume, Home Branch at 2.674 million. Team listing volume, Go Cane team 1.2 million. Individual listing volume, Teresa Shive 1,014,300. And I'll tell you, whenever we looked at the nation and the region, so at Mega Camp I get to hear basically the whole state of the economy. I'm not gonna go over state of economy today because I wanna do it at next team meeting. I'll do a whole a part of that. But I will tell you that Keller Williams at large and then the local market as well, we have the best listing in history volume. So whenever people wonder how the market is doing, listing volume is not always as good as listings closed because the houses can just sit there, but we're having units closed as well. So go to the Triple Crowners on the, this is just celebration. Group listing units, team listing units, individual listing units. These are per month, right? For July. Group closed volume, Sellers Realty Group closed a little over 8 million. Team closed volume, Kane team closed 1.5 million. Individual closed volume, Teresa Shive 2 million. Group closed volume, Sellers Realty Group, or units, 27 units. Lady of the Lake team 8 units. Teresa Shive 12 units. So before you do this, Rhonda, I just want to say, well, all work expands to fill the time allowed. That's a bold law, right? You guys right now are stressed out about command and changes and how you're going to get your business going and into the summer and all those things. And no matter how much time, say I give you guys an extra 2 hours this week because you didn't have to do this or that or the other, does your work just expand back to fill those spaces? So can you fit in some command training? Can you fit in the changes in your business? Yes. And then back to the awards for a second. You guys, I pull numbers all day long, that's part of my job. We do more in a month at this company than so many of them do in a whole year. Collaborate with the agents around you. Get in the rooms where we're sharing ideas. This is what Mega Camp was, and this is what you guys should be doing with each other, tap it into. You can't go do it just on your own. No one succeeds alone. All work expands to fill the time allowed. So I'm gonna tell you, this says Sketch House, create marketing with designs. Where do you have that? Just the quote that I sent you. Like the Sketch House video. So I want to bring up the. Let me play you a quick video here. This isn't the Sketch House. That's okay. This is only a minute and a half.
Companies are nothing more than people. People create everything inside an organization. And what's going to make us better in the long term is the way that our people think. Our goal is to tap the way people think and put it to use for everybody.
Keller Williams is going to listen to what their agents want for tech.
To break and rebuild the entire command system, which is what we call the lab process.
Saying, okay, tell us what works, tell us what doesn't.
So we're like, can we do this, can we do that? The answer is always going to be yes.
I feel like I designed it.
And we want to show you some updates and products, mostly command.
Our agents can be smarter.
I'm not doing multiple data entry and things aren't falling through the cracks. They're all in one place.
Now we can focus on the relationship with the clients.
I like to call it high tech and high touch.
We're creating the industry's first innovation partnership with all of the agents out there.
I feel like I'm on the cutting edge of my profession.
This is for the agents.
This is for the people that are actually doing the work on a daily basis.
They invest in not just the technology, but also in the people in the company. Command makes my life easy.
So when people say you can't build software, well, actually we can, and we actually are.
So there's some other stuff that I've got so much to tell you guys about. And here's the thing I want to tell you about Command, as I'll hear some of the, it's not working yet, or it's not ready yet, or what about the teams? And I went to hours of training on it last week. What Gary will basically try to explain is that Command is not a CRM. Command is not just going to replace what you were using before, whether it was E-Edge or Sync or Top Producer or any of those. It is a complete platform created with, he's buying companies just like a lot of the other companies are to make it all on one place for you. Well, if you take your smartphone and you look at what you have on your home screen, you either have Apple or Android. That's your two choices. You may have any kind of carrier or any kind of phone, but it's going to carry one of those platforms. So if you have Apple, you have them. If you have Android, you have Android. Then you have all of those apps that have been created specifically for that platform. Sometimes they'll work on both. But you know what I'm talking about. If you go to your Play Store or your store and, oh, that's an app that works for this, oh, that's an app that works for that. This is what your Command is. It is a platform to hold everything that you do. And so if you have not gone in to use it yet, you've been waiting. I'm going to let the two people that were at Mega Camp, I want to hear what their ahas and takeaways are. If you guys will watch the next UT meetings and the Command training, I'm going to be showing you how this is going to affect you guys' businesses. So this one, I don't have a video for Sketch House, but your designs, say you wanted to make an open house flyer, say you wanted to do a door hanger, say the things that you've had to spend time on before. If you'll come to this training class and see it, it is like literally 5 minutes to drag and drop your name in there, to drag and drop your house picture. It's actually pulling the house pictures in for you. It's so fast and so easy, I've not seen anything like it. Updated real time and saved. Huge difference in time savings. These are, you guys see where I gave you a list of what I've got coming on for the training. As you know, the 66-day challenge is still there for you to go in and just start at day one of the 66 small short videos. I think that that's a smart way to go do it. The 2.0 was released and it's current. So let's just pause and let my speakers come up. Am I close to done anyway? Yeah. Okay, close to done anyway. So, yeah, here we are, Mega Camp. Come up here, Brian, please. Come up here, Diana.
I'll stay way back in the back.
Is that you in the back? Come share with us
I never did see any of them, so I don't know if they were really.
Diana hid from us.
That's Photoshop.
Okay, let's go ahead and give him a few minutes. Let's see what they have to say.
What do you want us to do, Anna?
I would like you to share with me what you would like to tell us about Mega Camp, your ahas, your things you learned, things that you want us to know.
Have you put up your arm out?
We're getting to that.
Were you
She's
on that
first.
little, no, you go first. Were you on those little,
You go. I'm a car now?
yeah.
Okay.
Were you on one of those little things that run around?
Absolutely not.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think the thing that they were stressing was it was great getting back in touch with what makes you a good realtor. First order of business, pause. I broke my wrist using an axe, okay? The axe head went over the wood, it hit the handle, the energy got transmitted up into my body, and I broke my wrist. Play. It stressed, get better, excuse me? Was I throwing axes? Was the question? The answer is not that day. It stressed getting 1% better every day. So if you could take any part of your life, your spiritual world, your family world, your business, and you can improve only 1% every day, would you do it? And the answer's got to be yes. That's a buyer's or liar's question. The next thing that my big aha was relationships. And that's something that instead of being everything to everybody and jazz hands and spirit fingers and very superficial, is digging into and creating the relationships, because you're defined by the 5 people you hang out with that are regularly your friends. And deepening those relationships, and that built into, and I don't mean to beat you down, but command is gonna help you. Get over whatever growth thing you've got and start using command and learn 1% every day. Everyone knows 12 realtors. Have you gotten the call, hey, do you guys have an inspector from somebody that you know? Well, yeah, I know an inspector. Well, we bought a house and they didn't use you. Is there anybody got that call yet? If you do, that's gonna hurt your feelings, okay? How do you distinguish yourself? The Nietzsche classes in command are gonna help you distinguish yourself from everybody else in the crowd. And then command, command, command. And it's a game changer. I've gotten over whatever, I guess, personal growth things that I had, and I've started using it. All the stuff that they're saying up here, it's easy. Just dig into it. Get upset and get over yourself.
Thank you, Brian.
Well, I went to a class on the command thing too, and it's not just doing your database. It's going to do your quote unquote green sheets and everything else. So it's going to all integrate all that information together. So you really don't have a choice about it. You really have to learn it. So the thing that I took away mostly from my whole thing was right up on the front day, first day, Gary Keller said that we wouldn't even recognize real estate by the end of the year. It's changing that fast. And so I was intrigued by that, because I thought, geez, what's going to change? How is that possible? It's a simple business, really, that real estate is. It's got all of its things that components and stuff, but we all understand that. We know that it's not brain surgery. What is interesting is that agents don't always get everything. We're completely bombarded every day by all the shiny things that are out there, new programs, new brokers, new deals, new everything. You know what I'm talking about? We get new things in the email every day saying, try this, try that. That's what I'm talking about. So instead of doing all of that, we really need to concentrate on exactly what it is we need to do to get our business done. And if we don't, what's going to happen is that a lot of our sellers are going to go to iBuyers. iBuyers are people like Zillow, Amazon, OfferPad, Redfin, all of those. Those are all iBuyers. And they want to put us out of business, especially buyer's agents. Some of them won't even work with buyer's agents. So we have got to be as good as we can, as knowledgeable as we can, and quick as we can, because that's where it's going to be changing the most. So, for instance, if you have a listing that someone makes an appointment for Friday night, 7 o'clock, Friday night, the house is perfect, the agent doesn't show up. How does that make us look? Well, that happens 1 or 2 times. That seller's going to be thinking to themselves, well, why wouldn't I just go do an iBuyer thing and get rid of all this other stuff? And that's where it's changing. And that's when I said we have to understand what our role is to keep away those other people. And what do we do about that? Well, we have to have a good value proposition. We all have to have our own value proposition. We have to dig in and get our best things out. Make it quick. And be there. Answer our phones. Answer our calls back. Call back the sellers. Pick up the heavy phone. Do it. Because that's what's going to make the difference between us being able to list homes and sell homes, and the sellers and buyers going to the operators. Value proposition, know what yours is.
So was that was your main takeaway?
That's the only, I mean, that was it. Every place I went was about iBuyers and about what's coming. And frankly, kind of scared.
With the iBuyers, look at, I mean, you versus an iBuyer, the seller gets gets it done, transaction's done instantly. But the thing is, they're selling that way under market. Their seller's net is way less. Are you transmitting that data to your clients? Because that's gonna separate you from the electronic world. Are you being, I hate to use this, Costco, are you a roll of toilet paper? You are not a commodity, okay? You do a great job at what you are, judged by the name on the wall. So act like it. You have value.
Well, and the game is to get to the consumer before they go off and get somewhere else. So even your clients, what Gary showed, and I'll show this to you guys next team meeting, is the venture capital, he said, that's coming into the market where they're like Zillow, like Amazon, like those companies who are bringing in a bunch of money. That dust has settled and the top players are now kind of landed on the chessboard. But where they see the biggest value to spend the money on is after that client closes and they don't buy again for 6 or 7 years. All of those people in between purchases that the real estate community is terrible at staying in touch with, they're spending a fortune on sending them little pieces of offers and things to get their attention, as you guys think they're gonna call you because of your relationships. It's why you've got to more than ever solidify your relationships purposefully and consistently. If you're kind of still going, I don't really like to work with my sphere, they're very comfortable to work with your sphere. Problem is they can't do it on a local level. So thank you, you guys. Yay. So I brought you, I want to tell you a couple of things. I told the guys that were at Fund Group about Keller Mortgage. So there was a whole section on Keller Mortgage. It's ready, it's usable, it's getting good reviews. You're able to just share it. You can share it from your app and or from your command, either one. So if you were to pull it out and look at it, and I showed it to you, and then could you use that to save your clients money? Yes. So here's what Gary's doing. Everything else that's available to them, for example, Quicken Loans. He wants to have our version of the same feature so that they don't have to go outside of us to get things. It's an end-to-end platform. So you're, the difference in, say you went and studied and I did a class on Zillow offers or Zillow's, as an example, whatever they call their iBuyers. Okay, so somebody's on Zillow, they're looking to see what their house is worth, all of a sudden they start looking around, they're looking at their neighborhood, they keep getting this offer, instant cash offer. And then sometimes they're getting like say some Redfin, save money on your mortgage, click here, then routed through to an agent so that almost like your new home builders do. If you don't use our title company, if you don't do our lender, you don't get these incentives. Same idea. So Gary is basically combating that with what we're doing. So regarding the iBuyer, there was a whole thing on Keller Mortgage. I recommend that we start to put that in your marketing. I'll be talking to you about it some more as we go. I personally have been kind of not sure that I wanted to recommend it yet. They did a whole big, huge thing about it. There is.
Are they servicing those mortgages, or they just originating?
You can have well, I guess I don't know if they're servicing. I don't know what happens after the home closes. I've not heard that question before. I can find out. I do know that one thing that they're doing labs, just like they're doing with all of our things. It's not here to stay and it will never change again. It's from now being what they're calling labbed with our agents real time all the time. So there's a whole Keller Mortgage department who now gets feedback from the agents and the consumers and changes it whenever we say we don't like it or something's not working. So like for example, one of the biggest feedbacks they got was we don't want to just click here for a loan officer any more than we want to click here for a realtor that we've never met, don't know, no idea if they're going to answer their phone. So now you can get your Keller mortgage officer that you like, that you send your clients to that specific person. So it'll be a Keller mortgage person, but it'll be a preferred lender kind of thing. All through your app and easy to share in your marketing. Not saying you have to use it, but just check it out and know about it. So I went ahead and printed you something. I'm not like days of meeting I could give to you, but I thought this was kind of relevant. I printed it straight off of our Outfront magazine, and they talked about this at Mega Camp. So this is just an article that I printed for you regarding our instant offer. So I'm just going to read down this with you and go over it. As also known as an instant offer service, iBuying allows consumers to quickly sell their home to a company rather than to a person. iBuyers, or instant buyers, are companies to use technology to make immediate all-cash offers on a home. So keep in mind it's an all-cash offer. The seller accepts the offer, the iBuyer then handles marketing, reselling the home themselves. It's a trend that has gained appeal lately with homeowners looking to simplify the real estate process, move quickly, avoid the hassle of potential buyers traipsing through their home. Over $5 billion gone into investors in the iBuyer market, many port toward buying homes across the United States. You guys remember when we had iBuy Ugly houses? It's really kind of the same thing. It's going to be a pristine investment opportunity where you're going to get a cash offer. It's not a residential resale. It's a very small percentage of the market, and yet it's that new thing that they're seeing everywhere they are. Well, how much would my offer be? Well, I'll click here and get an offer. And then their offer might be 70%, 80% of what it's worth. Click here to go to your realtor. And then that's where they get you a little bit, right? So the ease and convenience of the appeal to the consumer. There are some people who will choose this option. You know, some circumstances, and you guys know what I'm talking about if you've been a realtor a while, where they'll say, I don't really care.
Inheritance.
Just dump this thing, I don't want to do the work on it. So here's what Gary's doing besides this. We will have one called Porch. Shelley did it, I can't remember what it's called. Something like Porch, where they can get a loan on the repairs to close at closing. So there's get your house fixed up, there's iBuyer if you want it, there's mortgage if you want it, there's insurance if you want it. All of that big arena will all be in your command platform. Kind of like they do at a new construction. You walk in and it's just everything you need. So this goes along with basically with kind of go down a paragraph. With Keller offers, consumers no longer have to pick between the options available without having an advocate to advise them. In our pursuit to drive the best end-to-end consumer experience, we're giving consumers the most choices available. We believe agent-driven consumer experience is the best to deliver that choice. So when you think about what Command is, it will all be about the consumer's experience, your consumer's apps, all of those things, to where they can click around and it saves all of their choices. They can start to fill out their information and they don't have to go put it in again. Just like all the stuff we complain about on our end that we have to duplicate entry, it's going away for the consumer side of this. So the Keller offer difference, it just goes through here to give you a bit of what this is. And the long and short of it is that you'll be able to still represent the client. You can represent your listings and provide them an iBuyer option. So if your customer says, oh, you know, I love you, Anna, but I think I'm gonna check out this Zillow thing. Well, we have it too. Gary just basically said, I'm not gonna put you guys in any space that you can't play in. I don't want anybody taking you out of the equation. So that's really what it is. And then they've test marketed and what we call labbed it in several markets. They're releasing it by the end of the year. I think Dallas is the main one doing it. And so it goes on the very bottom where it's arriving in new markets soon. Gives you a list of some of the big markets, which Houston is one of them, that they're doing it in. There's I just printed this for you. It's all available on your KW Connect, just so that you're out of all the noise. Why did we launch Keller offers? For the good of consumers, good of the industry, and so on and so forth. It's just like a little bit of explanation where, oh really, you guys are doing that icky stuff as well. It's just like what I'm telling you. And also, you've got to be able to have these conversations with your clients. What's the difference in a Zillow offer and a Keller Williams offer and any other offer that they can come up with? You gotta have the facts now. If you think that they're not reading it somewhere, they are. So brought you that. At next team meeting, I'll go over some of the state of the market, the gist of the state of the market nationally and locally. is that interest rates are the lowest. I don't know if they're the lowest they've ever been today, but they're basically the lowest they've ever been in history, and so far staying that way. The job market is one of the best in history, so I'll give you some of the stats and graphs. But your economy is very strong. Some things that you worry about the housing market, you know, as we go through it, that I'll talk to you about. But if your consumers are asking you how's the market is good. It's still a seller's market in the entire country pretty much. Interest rates still low, so our affordability is what that is the word we use for that. The ability to afford a home is excellent. So somebody has a conversation with you so that you know that. What are you guys thinking about? Anything? Anybody have any questions or thoughts?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I had a lot more that I didn't tell you. Jana?
I was curious what their value propositions are.
What their unique value propositions are? Well, so I would tell you when you look at your value proposition, why work with me? Okay? So that has to do with your mission, your vision. So say your mission is to deliver the best customer service. Well, how do you deliver customer service? What can someone else give you that you don't? So like, let's say we took a top producer across the board and asked them their value propositions. They will have sat down and done an exercise. And you guys do this in your ninja training as well. There's a whole skill group on that, where you go down and say, what do I do to market your house? So let's say I was gonna list your house and any one of you is gonna list a house and you and I go to the listing presentation together. I'm gonna be very clear on how I advertise it on social media, on what pictures of photographer I use. I'm gonna go down the list. And then what is someone else doing? What does everyone do? And that's a kind of an indicator of what your value proposition is not. What do you do that is unique or special?
But I mean, if they had one they could share like their elevator speech, that kind of thing. Is that what you mean by value proposition? It's kind of like the elevator speech?
It's way more than your elevator speech, but your elevator speech articulates it. You can articulate it.
I was just wondering if they wanted to share theirs.
Well, I don't know if we have time or if right now is the right time, but I think I could do a segment on unique value propositions if you like. We can bring that. Would that be valuable to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll bring that to you, and I'm gonna go ahead and close the meeting just because we're out of time, and I hold your time valuable. Oh, Rhonda's telling me to tell you a couple of upcoming things. So, you guys know Al Rincon is coming Friday morning. You guys know who Al Rincon is? Raise your hand if you know who Al Rincon is. About half of you. So Al is a OP, he's been a team leader of several market centers. I think he owns 9 Keller Williamses. He is a top producing agent, developed teams. I think he was one of the original team leader coaches for the Loken Group as an example. On the flyer that's going around, there's a better bio of him. He came in and taught us a class right after 4th of July where a bunch of you weren't, you know, kind of like a day that, well, not that we didn't have a lot of people there, but he's agreed to come back. Oh, here he is. Al's run and coached some of the most successful real estate agents, Loken Group, and so on and so forth. He gives some examples of them. He's built 4 market centers with 6 satellite locations, and he is going to come and do a question and learn class for us, which basically, if you thought about whatever questions you might come and ask him, he's going to do kind of an informal, but I believe he's bringing his son, who has all the technology knowledge behind him as well. That's Friday morning. So in the spirit of fun, we decided to do a scavenger hunt before that meeting. So we're going to do a scavenger hunt from 9 to 9:45. Last time we did that, you guys loved it. And then we'll roll into Al's class at 10 o'clock. So he'll do 10 to 11:30.
Lunch will be right after that, so if you're gonna come to that, there's RSVP so we can.
RSVP so that we can know how much lunch to bring in. That'll be worth your time, guys. That'll be good. And then there's a certification where you can get a designation class, and this is called HECM. What's it stand for?
It's like a reverse mortgage situation where you, somebody that already has their house paid off, they're baby boomers or their kids are all gone and they can sell their house for cash, but they might not necessarily be able to afford the house that they want, the equity that they have in their house. And so you do like a 50 to 60% down payment, and then it's a reverse mortgage situation on the remaining part that's owed.
So Bruce Sellers was the one that introduced me to the guy that is facilitating this for us, and he said, did you know, or did I know, that how much the reverse mortgages have changed? Because when they first were available, they weren't really they didn't make a lot of sense, and people were a little afraid of them. They have changed, and now you can get a certification. So if you come to this class and you go to the 2 hours, then you get the certification, then you'll know all about it, and you can use that designation and knowledge. So that is, what I'm talking about is Friday, come to Al Rincon's class, scavenger hunt if you like to have fun, Al Rincon's class, then lunch will be served, and then you can do that certification course if you want. Win with Sellers, you guys remember Marty Miller who came and taught your command class? Yes. He's coming back to do one called Win with Sellers. This is from KWU. It's one of the best classes that I've been to in working with. So Jana, that'd be a fantastic one for you to get really clear on your value proposition. It's going to be part of the content of a class like that. It used to be a 2-day class. Marty's bringing it for 1 day for free. It's normally $300 and something to go to it. And I'm bringing that to you on September 18th, 8:30 to 4:30. I'll bring in lunch, probably bring in breakfast. Trying to bring value to you guys. You guys need these classes, I'm not kidding you. Anybody not understand to grab your phone out of your pocket right now and put September 18th, 8:30 in there, Win with Sellers, KWU course, and Marty Miller coming in to teach us. And down there says breakfast and lunch will be provided.
You can always go on our Facebook group too, because we're constantly, I'm sure you've noticed, posting
Yeah, it's already on that.
those events, yeah. So
Yeah,
that
so
if you
it's
have
just
any
kind of like,
questions
there's
or
a
you're
lot of
curious.
stuff, and I want you to know something to clear your calendar for. That class, then I'm also bringing one, I've been trying to bring it for 2 years, I finally have it for us, called Fierce Conversations. This one is October 17th, 9 to 5. The cost of this one is $350. That's not even all we're spending to bring her. This is a mastery coach, special program. Keller Williams doesn't have the rights to it anymore, and that is a minimum of 15 people paying $350. This is a pretty much for top producers or for any of us. You know, you gotta be able to spend the $350 and put that on your radar. And if I can get enough of you saying, yes, Anna, I'm in, I'll work on lowering that cost. I'll get some sponsors in to help us. I'm telling you, over the years, I have taken some classes where I went and spent $300-400 to just spend this money on convention. And you treat it differently and you learn it and take it with a bit of interest when you pay for it. So as many things as I just told you, for free I brought it. And you go, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be ready, available. You pay $350 all of a sudden, you go and you stay all day. Same thing as what they do with Bold, just affects you differently. So Fierce Conversations is that person teaching it beyond. What else, anything I'm missing? I know I'm going long. We'll do market share and state of the company and state of the economy next team meeting. When we go to new construction, I'll bring in and talk to you guys about the state of the company, the economy, whichever. Okay? I'm gonna close, and you guys, anybody have anything to add? Fill your bucket, have you want.
I was just going to say, Donna asked me to remind everybody that Chava is in the back washing cars if you want to get your car.
Car wash guys here if you want it, and let's go ahead and move to virtual tour.
And sign up sheets if anybody wants to